Howdy ho, good neighbors. What's going on? It's Phil Russard, and we are here again with another Creatorcon Q&A. I know they've been a little sporadic, forgive me, but when we get talented people who want to come on the show and actually want to sit and speak with me, we get them on. So it's going to be great. As you know, we always have anything from the best in the indie scene to the best in the mainstream scene. And tonight we have an awesome indie author, cosplayer, and podcaster. And we're going to get into that because they also have a really great event that's coming up that you all may be really excited and interested to attend. And it's easy to attend. Hey, Joe Ryan, what's going on? Thanks for coming in. Please share this out. Let everybody know about it. Give some love to our guests. As usual, indie people work very hard at what they do. They barely make money, they barely get credit, and this is what they do on the side while they're doing the day job or parenting or running a house. So we definitely want to give love to our guest. Anyway, without further ado, we have tonight author, cosplayer, podcaster, mother, and 50 other things probably, and she does them all very well, Kelly Guentner Edwards.
Hello. You pronounced my name right. I'm impressed.
No, you told me how. How are
Yes,
you?
but it's tough.
Yeah, well, the you threw me off. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here. How are you doing?
Ryan is here, looking all super.
Hi, Ryan. I love that picture. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Will Pladen, how are you from Australia?
Hello, Will. Oh, that's a long
Kenny
way.
Calderon, Shazam from Florida. And Joe Ryan from upstate New York. Cool. Hey, Rod, thanks for coming in. Rod from Brazil. So cool.
Wow, we've got people from all over. I love it.
Yeah. It's that's the great thing about this community with comics and books and science fiction and fantasy and everything. It really brings people together, and I think that's awesome. Um, so getting into some of the things that you do, I'm going to touch on the cosplay first, and the reason why I will is the segue is the fact that cosplay actually brings a lot of energy to shows. It's fandom that you can go anywhere, whether it's a comic store, a convention, just hanging out somewhere, and it just brings that excitement and that fun to the community. When and what started you in cosplay?
Well, this is a fun story. So, like every cosplayer, I always loved Halloween and always loved dressing up as a kid. Um, my dad made me so I loved She-Ra when I was a kid. So my dad made me like a
Nice.
wooden sword and shield. I still sometimes my dad's retired engineer now. I still sometimes pick his brain about my builds because he's awesome. But and then growing up, I was into all the geeky shows of the 80s and 90s, including Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman. So I
Yeah.
love Superman, obviously. And my sister and I made we kind of missed the Christopher Reeve movies when they were in theaters, but we made a special, like, it was kind of our bonding thing to get all the movies on tape, and I think DVD was just starting to be a thing, and watch them together. So we bonded over that, and then we're going on a trip when we're like in our early 20s, and we got a little off course. It was snowing, and it was like 2 a.m, and we need gas. And I don't know, I'm sure you know about this, but Metropolis, Illinois, we're driving by the sign, and like just out of nowhere, like something out of a comic book, is the sign that says Metropolis, Illinois. And of course it does advertise that there's gas, home of Superman. And
No kidding.
I'm like, what?
I didn't know that.
You've never heard of Metropolis, Illinois? Oh my gosh.
I'm here in New York. I don't know about
Okay,
Illinois other than
well,
the arts.
let me tell you, that is my second home now. But at the time, I was like, this place is real. What?
That's so cool.
It's right over the border from Paducah, and it's amazing. But so at this time, I didn't know what it was. It was 2 a.m. We couldn't really stop for long, but we stopped for gas, and all we saw was this huge gas station. It was a tourist trap in the best way. It had all sorts of Superman stuff. So we walked out with gas and Superman paraphernalia. And fast forward a few years later, I don't know what made me think of it, but I'm looking at my Metropolis Home of Superman mug, and I'm like, I wonder what else is in that town. And turns out they have a Superman celebration every year, and it is the best thing if you ever get the chance to go.
So you moved there?
No.
Okay.
I wish. No, it's 7 hours away, but so it's basically like a street fair crossed with a Comic-Con. It's amazing. And so I, called my sister up. I'm like, hey, did you remember that town Metropolis that we drove through and got gas at in the middle of the night? I'm like, they have a Superman celebration. So I dragged my sister along to this thing, and I'm walking down the street, and we just get there, and I see this guy in a Batman costume, and I'm like, I look at him and I look at my sister. I'm like, you can do that here? and it's not Halloween. And my sister's looking at me like, you're crazy, which she does that often. She should be used to it by now, but no. So I'm like, okay, we need to leave right now, go to the mall, and I need to put together a costume. And she's like, we just got here. I'm like,
no time like the present.
I'm like, this is it. This is what I'm going to do now. So we went to the mall. I put together this Black Canary costume with like a swimsuit, fishnets, a Hannah Montana wig. And people were very kind and very receiving. Like, the cosplay community is the most welcoming community you could possibly hope to find. And I was like, that's it. This is my life now.
Is Black Canary your favorite?
She is. She kind of became my favorite after that, though.
Is it for sentimental reasons because it was your first cosplay ever, or you just love that character so much?
Both. I think it started out as sentimental reasons, because after I had already liked her, but after that I was like, well, I need to read everything I can get my hands on about this character, and I just really related to her. Now I have a Black Canary tattoo.
Did you love the cartoon, even though she's only a few episodes, Justice League when they went unlimited?
Oh yeah, Justice
My
League
daughters
Unlimited Canary is the best version of Canary outside of.
Yeah, my daughters love that too.
So good. But so that was 2008, and so I'm going on 15 years of cosplay.
That's very cool. Do you do contests and stuff throughout conventions, or do you do panels or stuff, or do you even do like workshops?
So I don't do contests so much, just because I'm not at that crafting level. I'm more kind of, I feel like I'm still amateur hour. I'm not, but my friends who do contests are like hand beading, and everything they make is so intricate, and I'm just like, but yeah, every so often.
I love that. I mean, from the professional to maybe not so professional, just the fact that some people buy a helmet and they put on, it's like, all right, but you didn't really put any effort into that. But when I see cosplayers, no matter how the execution is, if you put all that love and that effort in, I think that's pretty cool to do that, because you are on limited budgets. I mean, it costs a lot just to get the fabrics together and sew things and make all these things happen.
And that's a big thing on my show, Cosplay Cafe. We really stress that. So one of our co-hosts has done competition level cosplays, but we really stress that anyone can cosplay. And if you do a classic cosplay, you're still a cosplayer. It's still valid. And like, the whole point of cosplay is to play. You're supposed to have fun.
Exactly.
And I definitely stick more in that mid-level. Like, sometimes I have fun and craft things. Like, recently I made a foam mace for Hawk Girl, and I had a lot of fun with that. But I just am not.
Hawk Girl.
I'm not. I love Hawk Girl so much. I'm really excited about
you and my daughter will get along very well. Hey, Raphael. She does. She loves Hawk Girl. She was a big Hulk fan. Then she went to be a great She-Hulk fan, and then she saw Justice League, and she just loves Hawk Girl.
Hawk Girl was my favorite in Justice League too, like over Wonder Woman. Even though I love.
Well, Hawk Girl was pretty badass. I mean, she was like take no crap, and then the whole storyline where she she had to redeem herself after they realized she was there, planted there, by the Thanagarians, and that was a good storyline too. My favorite episode actually is with Solomon Grundy,
What
and
episode?
that's my favorite episode of all of that series. So, hey, Mike, what's going on? Ryan said you are a professional and a winner. Why? Because she wins.
Thank you, Ryan.
That's coming from Superman too. I think it's awesome that cosplay. Like I run conventions, and cosplayers don't always buy stuff from vendors, so they maybe not everybody loves that, but they do add an energy to a room. They add energy to the convention, just because they are always upbeat and they're smiling and they're actors putting on a show within a show, and I think it's pretty cool. Hey, Charles W. Morgan's in the house. What's going on, Charles?
Hello, Charles. I will say I do buy from vendors. I usually
Nice.
I usually have someone in tow to carry my bags if I'm not carrying a matching bag, but I do like to support vendors, especially artists. I can't help myself with artists. My walls are full.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, look, I get if they don't. I'm not one to knock that, but because again, as a convention runner myself, that you bring a lot of energy to shows. It's always cool. People taking pictures. I did a show in 2019 at Stony Brook University, and man, I have pictures I can show you, like 50 cosplayers lining up, and just like a community, they were just taking pictures and having fun, enjoying themselves, laughing, joking, dancing, acting out their characters. That's always fun. I love when they act out the characters. But you're multi-talented though, because you're not just a cosplayer, you're an author.
I am.
Now you have a website which I'm going to drop at the end of the show because, well, I can drop it now. It's just it doesn't go on my Phil Russert page for some stupid reason. But so we're gonna get into. You have 2 books successfully published, and you have one that you're working on now. Was your first one was Scorcher?
Yes. Yep.
So tell us about Scorcher.
I even have it right here. I don't have the second book handy, but so Scorcher and Thin Ice are part of the same trilogy. Scorcher is the first in the trilogy, of course. Basically, the best way to describe it is a superhero romance. It's also a redemption story. So Scorcher is the story of Aiden, who was taken in as a child by a very shady organization that pretty much trains superhumans to be criminals. So she wasn't given a whole lot of choice. And she's now in her 20s and going through a period where she's questioning her life and whether or not she wants to be in that life. And then she meets a guy who's Marty, who's on the right side of the law. And that kind of helps push her along, but also creates a whole lot of complications. And so it's really about her not only making the choice to go a different way, but also dealing with the fallout, because this organization isn't just going to let her walk away.
Right. Wow. Very cool. And did you have like three books plotted already ahead of time? You knew where this would go, or were you just writing and you're like, you know what, this is expanded into something greater, I'm going to continue this?
Well, when I first started writing it, I had no idea where I was going. Like I was telling you before we started the show, I didn't know what I didn't know. So I was just writing for fun. I was like, you know what? I like these characters. I'm just going to see what happens. But then as I started really plotting out the novel, and a lot of the writing happens in the editing process where you're really carving it out, really like, for me, it's fleshing it out because I kind of write bare bones, but really figuring out how the story is going to be structured. That's when I realized it was a trilogy. And so then I did roughly sketch out book 2 and book 3, and I figured out where it's going to end. And then I actually finished book 1 and started book 2 right away, which is crazy because then I had 2 children back to back, and it took 10 years to finish book 2.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Now, what's your writing process though? A lot of writers will tell you a ton of different ways that they write. Some outline and then they connect the dots. Some flesh out uh, their world first, and then they go to the micro part of everything. Some people build from in to out, and some people like me just write, and whatever the heck comes out on paper comes out on paper, and then I have a good editor that cleans me up.
So for me, I start with the characters and I really get to know the characters. And so if I'm ever stuck, sometimes I'll grab a minor character and realize I haven't gotten to know them well enough and I'll fill out those character development questions, which that's writing 101, but sometimes I'll forget that that's a tool I have at hand. And it's amazing how those help me flow. So once I really know my characters, usually the story starts revealing itself as I'm getting to know my characters. And then I just start writing. I usually have a little bit of an idea in my head of where I'm going and where I'm going to end up, but the journey figures itself out as we're going. And then, like I said, a lot of my writing is pretty bare bones at first. And so I'll write and it'll be like 30,000 words. And I'll go back and go, okay, what's the B plot here? What else do I need to fill in to get from point A to point C?
Real quick, I'm just gonna. Charles says doing fine. Interesting show tonight. Ryan is very impatient. We'll get there, my friend. Relax, buddy. We want to know a little bit about her first.
Ryan's
Stefan,
been
how are you?
my best hype man for the Multiverse Fundraiser. So Ryan, I love you.
And Rod always likes seeing cosplayers run around conventions. Very cool. And then Blue Eyed Lion Gaming, along with Michael, said hello. So hey, what's going on? So for writing, they always say write from what you know. How much are the characters in these books a part of you or people that you know? Where did you draw from for those characters?
So they all get a little bit of me and a little bit of people I know for sure. Like, hi, Crayley. That is my Phoenix sister, my other half, my editor.
Nice.
Yeah, we one of my co-hosts on Cosplay Cafe, we pretty much are all up in each other's business for everything.
Well, hello, Crayley. How you doing? We're going to talk about the podcast soon, too.
Yes. So Aiden got a lot
I know,
of
Michael.
younger me because obviously my first real big book that I was willing to show to anyone was going to end up being a lot of me for the main character. So she's a psychology major, and I actually did start out majoring in psychology, which is why I start with characters first. That's why I'm interested in figuring out why people tick, what makes people tick.
Sure.
One cosplay team, one mind, one heart. And Aiden got some of my, flaws too. But I would say Marty also, the male lead, got some of my characteristics as well. And then you kind of draw from, like, after I met my husband when I was halfway through writing the first book. So
okay.
He got drawn into it a little bit. And you just kind of draw from various places. I also just really like to observe people that I meet everywhere. So you take little pieces from like people you've worked with.
Sure. And that's how you get the natural responses, right? Because we've been around the block, we've interacted with so many people, it's all there for you. Just life itself is this wealth of knowledge. And anytime you write, you think, how would someone respond to this? Think about the times in your life where you had that similar situation. How did that person respond, based on that personality? So and it just makes characters that you can relate to and that you
Exactly.
can be drawn to, which brings the readers in, which is very cool. What's the name of the third book?
It doesn't have one yet. I'm going to have a tough time coming up with one that I'm really fond of Thin Ice, the name, because so the male lead has ice powers, and Thin Ice he gets himself into a tricky situation, so he's on thin ice.
Nice.
So I'm gonna have to come up with something that's as clever as that.
Well, maybe it's a combination of Scorcher and ice, the fire and ice. Maybe you combine the two.
Yeah.
Humid. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, and there's also going to be like water powers and lightning powers in there. So I've got a lot to play with, but.
Now, what made you decide to go with a prose novel as opposed to a comic book format with this, being that, you love superheroes?
So at the time when I started writing it, I could not find any superhero novels on the shelf. And as much as I love comics, which I really love comics, I mean, you can kind of look behind me and see there's one of my short boxes, but I really was interested in delving into the thoughts of characters a little more. And again, just kind of delving into the psychology of characters a little bit in a different way, because then you can with the visuals
right
from a comic. So it's just a different medium that you can use in different ways. And also, this was something I could do myself as opposed to having to find an artist that could help me carry out my vision, because while I can do visual art, I can't do it sequentially.
Right. Yeah, it's tough. Sequential is tough.
I give artists a lot of credit, especially comic artists. That is a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, and it's hard. Camera angles and perspectives, and not just obviously knowing anatomy and architecture and how to draw all that stuff, but camera angles, and from the different angles you have to make them look realistic, and the movement that you have to put into a two-dimensional picture, and you got to be consistent with each panel that the backgrounds make sense, right? So it's very hard. But I'll give you great stick figure sequentials, no backgrounds. So beyond this trilogy, do you have other stories in mind that you want to write, or is this just what you got right now, and if something else comes up, you'll tackle it then?
I have a lot of ideas. I'm trying to stop myself from starting on them because I'm like, okay, you got to finish this one first. But my nephew is adorable. He's requested that I write a children's book so he has something that he can read.
Aw, that's cute.
It's so cool. Cute. And I came up with an idea, and I'm like, well, now I have to write it, but I have to hurry and write it while he's still young enough to enjoy it.
Right. Absolutely. He'll be a little annoyed at you if it's too late.
Yeah, if I write it and he's like in middle school and he's like, well, that's not cool.
Yeah, this is boring now.
This kid is adorable. He learned to read on Star Wars picture books.
Nice. Good way to start. Parents are doing right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the sister that I dragged to Metropolis. So she's doing a lot of things right. She's awesome. And then he was really interested in comics, so he very sweetly asked me if I could bring him to a comic shop for his first trip. So that was exciting. Aunt Kelly was almost as excited. I think I was more excited about the first comic trip with my nephew than he was. He was pretty excited, but I was like, yes, I get to introduce another person.
Yeah, it's always good when we grow the family, right? We indoctrinate them into comics and superheroes. So you have all that going on. You're writing. You're very busy, which I think is awesome. As someone who's very busy, you're touching all different aspects, which are important. We need all these things. You also do podcasting. You have the Cosplay Cafe, and what's the back issue? You got the Back Issue Breakfast Club. So tell us about what got you into podcasting, and then tell us about the different shows.
Sure. So I should say, Back Issue Breakfast Club it's on my website, but I've kind of passed the torch to my network head, John Pica. I haven't been able to do a review in over a year because I've been so busy with everything else. But that's a really fun show where it's like 5-minute bite-sized comic book reviews. And
Cool.
I do want to get back into it. So like the door is open for me to do it whenever. And I had so much fun the first year doing it because it's been going for 2 years now. So
Now, do you review like mainstream comics, indie comics, or anything?
anything.
Very
So
cool. Because I'm going to
and
tell you, as an indie publisher, we need people to start talking about our books and get us out there. We need people like you doing shows like that. We absolutely do.
that's, I think once I get back into it, that's going to be more of my focus. And I was really ambitious because the first year that I did it, I tried to I did cosplay for every episode that I did it, and that was hard because it was every week.
That's a
But
different outfit. Wow, yeah, you got to come up with something every week. See,
yeah,
I
but
would just go as a fat Irishman every week. That's my cosplay. A fat, loudmouth Irishman. That's my cosplay. We're good.
well, once I get back into it, I cannot promise I will be cosplaying every review. But so the way I got into podcasting was I got into it sideways, which is I guess the way I do everything. It was 2020, and like a lot of people, I was looking for, or I was down in the dumps. I'm an extrovert, and I miss my friends. And I had or a friend of mine had come up with this show idea, and she wasn't going to do it. She's like, someone needs to do this. I'm like, would you mind if I did this? She come up with the show idea in 2019, and I was like, her show idea was drunk history, but for comics.
Okay.
And I was like, that's awesome. I want to do that. And then I didn't do anything with it. And then it was 2020. I was like, well, I miss people. I would love to get drunk and talk comics with my friends. But then I had to figure out like how to record it, how to.
Right, the technical aspects of things.
I didn't even know how to light myself. And then figuring all
I
that
still
out
don't.
while drinking. And then
I still don't.
and
Look
then
at my
how to
show. It's not
edit it.
polished.
It was yeah, it was an adventure. So I did that for all of 2020 and the start of 2021. And then I met John Pica, my network head, who is a genius, and he took me under his wing. And now I don't have to get drunk for shows.
Nice.
I had a lot of fun, but editing like 2 hours of drunk ramblings down to 30 minutes is tough. Hello, Kristen.
Hey, wow, you're right there with the Golden Globes. You are moving up in the world.
I feel special. Kristen is my celebrity liaison for the Multiverse Fundraiser.
Yeah, I'm gonna get into that now. I'm sorry. I have a 10-year-old daughter talking in my ear while I'm live.
No worries.
All right. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second.
That's fine. Aww.
Tell me about the game tomorrow. I'm live. I love you. Sleep well, sweet dreams, Kella. She has this new game that she loves. She's a cheetah, and you can actually have cubs, and you protect the cubs, and you feed the cubs, and you take care of the cubs. And she's so excited about her two cubs. And in the game, she carry them in the mouth by the scruff and all this stuff. So she's, my daughter, she couldn't care less that I'm live right now. She's just like, Daddy, the game. And it's adorable. And I apologize. I mean, no disrespect to you as a guest. But yeah, it's adorable. And, and speaking of which, my daughter loves to go to shows to see the cosplayers with me and take pictures with them. She loves that. So that's another thing that cosplayers bring to shows. You get the children involved, and maybe they see that's, who is that? Oh, that's Supergirl. Or that's Superman or whatever. Oh, wow, Black Canary. And now they're interested, and they start looking at those characters. That's very cool. So getting back to what we were talking about. Yes. So segueing now from podcasting, and we're talking about the Golden Globes. Let's talk about the online show. It was a convention that is now being done for charity, which is wonderful. The Multiverse. Tell us about it.
All right. So the Multiverse Fundraiser is a basically a free comic convention. Oh, hello.
That's my youngest. I'm sorry.
No, don't be.
Good night,
I love. Oh my God.
This is the one I got to deliver.
Oh, she's so cute.
Yeah, I brought her in this world. I'm about to take her out. Get her. She's feisty. Right, she's telling us about
it's the Irish
event. Okay, so I'm gonna say goodnight. I love you.
Good night. I'd love to hear about it one day.
I'll tell you about it tomorrow.
Yay! Promise.
I promise. I love you. Pinky promise. I love you. Sleep well, sweet dreams. God bless.
See you, Daddy.
Good night, baby girl.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Sorry.
Don't be. I'm in love with both your kids now. They're adorable.
Yeah, yeah. I think I'll keep them.
Yeah, I think you should. I think you should.
Yeah, I think I'll keep them. But
Right.
maybe in the closet for a little while. But I'm just kidding. So the multiverse. It started as a convention. It's now for charity. I think is a wonderful thing. Tell us about it. First, when is it happening first?
It is happening the weekend of January 20th through the 22nd. And you can attend on the Cereal Box Network YouTube and Facebook. Also the Multiverse Fundraiser Facebook. And basically it's going to be running most of the weekend in pretty large blocks of time. And it is free to attend, but we are raising money for the John Ritter Foundation for Aortic Health. And if anyone doesn't know about the John Ritter Foundation for Aortic Health, I'm sorry, I'm stumbling over that word right now.
You weren't drinking though, were you?
Not alcohol.
Yeah.
Just Propel waters. No, I don't drink on the air anymore.
John Ritter was one of those. I'm not a celebrity person, but it shocked me when he had passed away. So
it's very, very sad, and that's actually how this foundation got started, because his wife, Amy Yazbek, she took this trauma and spun it into something that helps a lot of people, because basically John was he died because he's misdiagnosed as having a heart attack when what he had was an aortic dissection. And so Amy, obviously devastated, but she took that and realized this is a medical condition that not a lot of people know about, not a lot of people understand, and there needs to be more research about it. There needs to be more awareness. And so she's just made this her life's mission, and she's saved lives. It's actually a genetic condition, so she's saved the lives of some of John's relatives who didn't realize they had the condition. It's incredible. It's been really interesting getting to know her story just from doing my research for the charity, for our fundraiser. And I get to interview her as part of the event. So I'm excited to actually get to talk to her and hear her story more, because I'm just fascinated. She's really cool. She's been a really great partner for us. She's been helping us every step of the way. And
fantastic. So what are you, hey Nicholas, how are you? So what are you doing? What's the event entail? And like, if obviously it's free, people can join in. It's a live online convention. What guests do you have? What interaction is there? What can you do?
So it's a literally like a Comic-Con in your home. And I'm pulling up the guest list to make sure I don't miss anyone, because as I mentioned, Kristen,
if you send it to me in DM, I can also put it up on screen.
Oh yeah, let me send that to you real quick. I should have sent that to you before. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I mean, I do have that one link I can.
Here, I've got a nice image for you that I will send over. There you go. Check your Facebook messages.
Okay, cool.
So as I mentioned, Kristen is our celebrity liaison. She made connections with all these celebrities. And as she's saying in the comments, the love for John has been so overwhelming that a lot of celebrities really wanted to be a part of this because of their love for John, their passion for the cause. Okay, sure. So these are our people.
Yeah, William Cat. That's all I need.
Right. This guest list is just.
Man, you got the
there's so
greatest
many
American
fandoms
hero. I'm
represented.
in. I am in the greatest American hero, and that movie he did, House. I love that movie.
Yeah. So we have, of course, Amy Yazbek. We have Armin Shimmerman, Beth Broderick. L.W. Salinas is a really talented voice actress. Cress Williams, Guy Gilchrist, Chris Gaucher, Chris Jowers, another for our voice actor panel. Jason Bear, another person I get to interview, and I'm so excited because I love her as well. Victor Garber, William Catt, author Carrie Schaefer, Amy Carrero, Brian Hull, Jennifer Cody.
Very cool. Now, how can fans interact with them? How does it work?
So if you tune in on any of the channels I just mentioned, so Facebook, YouTube, you can actually interact in the comments as long as you're tuning in live. And we will be taking questions from the audience. So that's always
very
fun.
cool. You get to talk to some celebrities that you've always followed.
Yeah. I mean, like, seriously, just, yes. Like Kristen said, even guests who couldn't be part of the event expressed their love of Jen. It's been such a blessing. Like,
Ryan was saying, what is it? With the new DC Cinematic Universe run by James and Peter, what should be the first film to start it? Veteran characters or introduce new characters not yet adopted to the big screen?
ooh. So if it were up to me, I would probably go with characters that have never been seen on screen and lesser known actors. Because
I agree.
Good. Because I feel like Batman and Superman and even Wonder Woman now have so much baggage where people already have their favorite person who's played them and their favorite version of them. So we need to just start fresh, kind of like what Marvel did with Iron Man. And we just need probably a solo movie where we need just something that knocks out of the park.
Well, just look at movies like Star Wars. Look at certain characters like Captain America. They took Chris Evans. You knew him maybe from Not Another Teen Movie, and he played Human Torch. And nobody thought it was going to be working out and it was going to be good. And there you go. I mean, yeah, I think going with unknowns is better. There's also less, mainstream actors like The Rock. They're always The Rock in whatever they do, But you get a new actor that you don't really know, you're not going to get that sense of being taken out of the character because it's Tom Cruise. You know what I mean?
Right.
Tom Cruise is Tom Cruise. So yeah, we were talking about Hawk Girl before. It's my Kenny Collins says, I want to see Booster Gold. That would be fun. You can make that like a true comedy that isn't too over the top, but yet a good superhero film. And again, that's a guy who's shallow, who kind of finds his heroism,
I feel like a Booster Gold and Blue Beetle buddy cop style movie is
that
what
would be cool.
Everyone wants. Why don't we have that?
That would be awesome. I mean, there's so many characters you can delve into. Yeah, Kenny said the classic Blue Beetle. And Ryan was talking about Black Canary and Huntress kick off the DCCU or even Green Arrow. And the thing is, even though it wasn't very true, Green Arrow had his TV show. I'd like to see even – they're not going to do it, obviously. But, like, Dr. Fate was interesting in Black Adam, but they dummied down his abilities a lot.
Yeah.
He's very powerful. I'd love to see Dr. Fate and do something more in the realm of magic and mysticism and science and all that. That would be cool. Or Teen Titans with Starfire done right and stuff. I mean, I know they have the TV show, but I'm sorry. The show it doesn't feel like Teen Titans to me.
Right. It doesn't quite have that fun that Teen Titans is supposed to have.
Yeah, they made it very dark and gritty, and I think everything's so dark and gritty today. We could use a little lighten up here.
Also, it's literally dark. Like, it's hard to see.
Yeah.
Lighting people.
Yeah, that's true too. And when Robin's throwing F-bombs, you're like, wait a minute. But getting back to the multiverse, so besides these celebrities, do you what are the any other attractions? Anything else going on, or are you taking other artists, or what else do you have going on?
Yeah, so we have basically all the shows on the Cereal Box Network will have their own panels, and then we'll have Ice Cream Queens will be our after show at the regular time. So we'll have a cosplay cafe panel. We'll have Back of the Cereal Box, which is our flagship show, which just covers general pop culture. We'll have Cryptid Crunch, which covers cryptids. We'll have Fanatic Forum, which also covers pop culture, different fields to those two shows. Then we'll have a indie authors panel and an indie comic creators panel.
Very
and
cool.
we have a B-list boosters panel, which is for a few super comic fans, including Ryan, to talk about B-list comic characters that they really love. And speaking of lesser known characters that deserve a little more attention in the mainstream. So that's always a fun time. And
Very cool.
let me check the schedule and see if I'm forgetting anything else. We have a pretty
Yeah, I was
packed
going to pull up the other right here. So people can go to this website. Let me drop
Yes.
it. I don't know if there's going to be a long link. I apologize for that. Hey, Ryan, if you can drop the links to the multiverse, because this is coming out as a long link. Can you drop a short link in the chat? But here we go, and you've got the find the full schedule here. How to attend, there's specific instructions, so it's easy for you, and a user form to fill out. So you make it really easy for people to check it out. And let's check out the schedule. All
And
right, here we go. We got a schedule right here.
There we go. Oh, yeah. How could I forget? There's a panel on fan fiction, which I'm going to be on. And we actually just had someone agree to join our panel who's an IP lawyer. So I'm super excited to hear her.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting. So we're going to talk about...
You're going to have to give me her name.
Oh, no. Are you in need of her services?
Yeah, just in case.
Just in case. I can do that. But we're gonna talk about why fan fiction is important. We're also going to talk about the impact it has on fandom culture and just all the different ways it can impact and what uses it can have. We won't actually be arguing for monetizing your fanfic, just to be clear. But
this is great, and you got a really good packed lineup here. And
thank you.
You know, if you're not able to travel or if there's nothing going on that weekend, it's the cold of winter. This is it's free. It's great to just come in. But again, you know, this is a fundraiser for an important cause. So if there's ways you can donate, tell us, how can people donate to the cause?
So front page of the website has a link to our Just Giving link. And I do want to point out a couple things about that. The Just Giving link goes directly to the John Ritter Foundation. We do not handle the money. It's not like you're sending it to a PayPal and just trusting us to turn it in. Just want to be very transparent about that. The Just Giving link is connected to the John Ritter Foundation. And also, every $10 donation enters you in a sweepstakes to win some prizes. So we were really blessed with a lot of vendors, a lot of Etsy vendors, artists, indie authors who donated to our sweepstakes. Yep, here is the John Ritter Foundation. So we had a lot of...
I'm listening to you. I just figured I'd show them what it's going to.
Yes. And so we got a lot of donations to our sweepstakes for prizes. So every $10 gives you an entry into that sweepstakes. And all you have to do is, there's instruction on the website for how to make sure your entry is counted. But we have 3 prize boxes that contain all the prizes listed on the website. And they're basically blind boxes, which is fun. Everyone loves blind boxes, right? Okay. But they contain like
Yeah,
best of indie art.
whatever the reason, people love them.
They're so great. Well, last year we let people choose.
Yeah, I think we have a delay now.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's not your fault. It's the connection. There's a delay now. Sorry. So go ahead. You were saying.
Oh, last year we let people choose prizes, and it seemed like it was overwhelming because we do get a lot of generous people donating prizes. So this year we were like, you know what? Blind boxes are so much fun.
Yeah, people love to, that it's like that hidden treasure, that buried treasure that you dig up, right? And what do I get? And then you find something like, oh, this is really cool. Even if it's 1 out of 5 items, it's awesome.
It's like Christmas morning.
Yeah, right? Exactly. That's true. That, the mystery boxes do very well. So that's very cool. It's a great guest list. It's for a great cause. I just want to show people right there on the site where she said our Just Giving link is here. That's where you can click and donate. And that's what I was showing you while she was speaking to where you can give. All right. And you can share it out. The key is awareness, right? It's great if you support. It's great if you donate. That's amazing of you. But if you can't spend money, you can still share it out to people, because the more people out there, even $1 per person makes a difference. So it takes 2 seconds to share a link, share this video, and you can make the difference to somebody with aortic health issues. I just had a neighbor pass away of aortic aneurysm. So, and they're hard to diagnose right away. I don't know if you're aware, the aortic artery is a very large one that goes right up, basically your abdomen up into your chest and branches out, and it's the biggest one. And when you have complications there, it's very, very serious. So the more you help support the cause, the more you could be saving someone's life, whether a child, because again, a lot of these are genetic issues, or someone else, an adult. It could, God forbid, it could be a family member you're saving. So research is important into these things, and they need money for research. So please, don't just attend this, but donate, support.
Thank you.
So, I have to commend you. You have a lot going on, but you're doing a lot for the sake of the community, the cosplaying and the podcasting and the reviewing of books on the cereal box, and of course this fundraiser. And then you're giving quality entertainment through literature. So kudos to you.
Thanks.
So again, just remind us about this. This is January 20th through the 22nd, 2023. It's the whole weekend. You can go to this website, and the schedule is here with the guest lineup. And that's awesome. And you can, again, you go live, you can speak to these people, and they'll entertain the questions, and you can have a chat with them directly.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, where are you going to get your questions answered like that? If you go to a huge con, if you're lucky, they'll take your questions. Maybe.
Right. I mean, here you get a front row seat no matter what, from the comfort of your own home.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. So before we head out today, I'm going to give you the floor, and I want you to tell us everything that, your website, the multiverse, everything you're doing, what we should look for in the future, and why we should buy your books.
All right. Well, my website is www.kellyguentner.com. Kelly is spelled Kelly, Guentner, Guentner. Yes, there's lots of extra letters because my husband is German. The Multiverse Fundraiser is www.themultiversefundraiser.com. There is no D in there. It's a pun. We're raising fun as well as raising funds. I love me some puns, nice. Okay? So
it's a lot of fun. Sorry,
Yes.
I had
You should definitely buy my books if you like superheroes and you want something a little different than what you've already read. You should buy my books if you like a little bit of romance, or if you like redemption stories, if you like seeing into the mind of a supervillain. Pretty much if any of that is up your alley, you should buy my books. You should not buy my books if you like jokes about spandex. That's the only bad review I've gotten. Was someone I made a joke about spandex in chapter 1, and someone complained about it. She's like, yeah, I didn't like the view or the mental image of a guy running around in Antarctica wearing spandex. I'm like, it's a superhero book. Did you not know what you signed up for? So if you don't like jokes about guys in spandex, not the books for you. You know what? My books are not for everyone. So if you don't like things
people
about
will definitely find anything to I don't know. Yeah, I think that should be a new superpower for a villain, complaining like a perpetually offended man. Yeah.
It is honestly one of my favorite reviews because it makes me laugh. Because it's like, what about I did not misrepresent my book. And I do hope that reviewer found something that was more to her liking and in her wheelhouse. But anyway, so if you don't like jokes about that are within the superhero trope, it's not for you. That's my disclaimer. Sorry.
But if that's your only hang up for reading a good story, then I suggest you reevaluate your life.
I mean, I feel like since that's the only bad review I've gotten, I'm not doing that bad.
That's great.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess challenge accepted, y'all. Now I'm going to get like hit with a bunch of bad reviews. I'm going to get review bombed.
Nah, I don't think so. I was saying the cover to Scorched is Scorcher, excuse me, is beautiful. I really like that cover a lot. Credit to the artist. Give credit to the artist. Go right ahead.
The artist is Daphne Salazar, and she is kind of a ghost on social media, unfortunately. I found her on DeviantArt. I'm Facebook friends with her. And that's basically how I find her when I need covers. But I was just asking her a few weeks ago because I'm like, I really want to start promoting you. And she's like, she's had a couple kids now, and she's just like doing her thing.
Good for her.
She needs social media. I'm like, you need to promote yourself more because she's amazing.
Yes, I agree. The covers are fantastic, both of them. But I really like that Scorcher.
Thank you.
That's I'm Irish. I like the redheads. So what am I gonna
tell you? Same.
So fantastic. Look, thank you for coming on. I appreciate everything you're doing. The Multiverse Fundraiser is January 20th through the 22nd, and it's an online, free, interactive convention with great celebrity guest list. But again, what we can't lose focus on is this is to raise funds for the John Ritter Foundation for people who suffer from aortic health issues that are life-threatening. So if you could, donate even $1. If you can't, share it out. It's really important. It's for a wonderful cause. And a lot of people are working hard for free to help get the funds for research to save lives. So that's a beautiful thing. Support your cosplayers and go buy Scorcher and Thin Ice right now. They're on Barnes & Noble's online, Amazon, and a bunch of other places. So go get them.
And if you want signed copies, just go to my website and I'll send them to you.
And again, it's Guentner, Guentner. We'll drop it in the link again at the end there so people can get it. Kelly, it was nice to meet you. I mean, I kind of met you the other day on Ryan's show, but we didn't get to talk. But it's nice to officially meet you. Very impressed with what you're doing, and I wish you the best of success and health and happiness for you and your family, and just keep writing.
Thank you. Same to you. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. This is fun.
No problem. And anytime, you need to promote or something, let me know. We'll have you back on.
Awesome. Have a good night, everyone.
Have a good night. So that was Kelly Guentner. I'm going to drop the links again, but go to her website. You can buy her books. It's better to buy the books through her website. I'm just going to say that for obvious reasons, but go there and you get a signature. And then again, we have the Multiverse Fundraiser for the John Ritter Foundation. It is a live, interactive, online convention. Again, just to show you, it's for the John Ritter Foundation. All your donations go straight to the foundation. It's a legitimate foundation. It's not going to the people who run the show. It's going to the foundation itself. Here is the guest list, which is really, really impressive. And here is the schedule of events. If you go live, you can be part of the Q&A. You can ask questions. They'll select you out of the chat, and you get to talk to them, whether it's William Catt, who I'd love to speak to, or any of the celebrities, some voice actors, some big-time people from TV and movies that you love. And it takes a lot to coordinate these events. It takes a lot of passion, a lot of time, a lot of effort. And again, this is besides their day job that is paying their bills, because this is done out of love, not out of money. All right, so that's all the more reason to support this and the people involved. All right, so it's the Multiverse Fundraiser. Again, one last time, it is January 20th through the 22nd, 2023. Go to the website, which is theMultiverseFundraiser.com. It's right here. It'll give you everything you need, even how to log in, where to go. So if you're not the biggest at computers and things like that, it directs you where you got to go. I mean, absolutely easily hands you the keys to the kingdom. All right. So before I go, as you know, tomorrow night, my next book is The Dynamics. It is based on my family with superpowers. It is a fun family book that I promise you is like a Pixar movie. Adults will enjoy it too, but there's no content in there that makes you go, oh man, now I got to explain this to my kid. All right. It's family friendly. It's fun. We're going to show the trailer. We're going to launch it live on Kickstarter. We're going to have guests, Addie Kidd, Robert Powers, and M. Zapata, who are cover artists. Rob Powers did the entire book that I wrote and created. It is so much fun. It's a bright color. It's a good way to get your kids into reading comic books, and it's a comic you can enjoy too. It's my second ongoing title after Tragedy. Just remember, not everything is tragic in the Filbo universe. Filbo Publishing, check it out. Website's underway. But if you go to my Facebook page, you get all the updates on all the books we have coming out. And we have probably about 6 or 7 coming out this year. Come out tomorrow night, 8 p.m. on my Facebook or my YouTube channel, Creatorcon event, and watch the live launch and hang out and talk with us. And hopefully pledge and support. We appreciate you. All right. Having said that, I'm going to thank again Kelly for coming on and being a fun guest. It was great talking with her. I really wish her well. Her books look really good. And when people are passionate about the industry, you know that they're giving it to you in their quality of their writing and everything because they care about it. So, all right. Have a great night. I'm going to leave you with what I always leave you with. Be legendary and have fun storming the castle.